Just a warning to make you aware, the soundtrack of this video contains some very loud tones and noise, so you might want to reduce the playback volume, particularly if you're listening on headphones. Okay, I recently made a video where I made a copy of a VHS recording made from a Sony PCM-F1 multiple times to see what the effect of the multiple generations of copy was on the sound quality. I had a few comments on that video, which I'll address in a separate video, but I've made the recording with the PCM-F1 in 16-bit mode. So what I want to do in this video is essentially exactly the same experiment again, except this time I'll switch the PCM-F1 into 14-bit mode before I make the initial recording. So just to quickly explain what I've got set up here, I've got a DVD player which I'm just using as an audio source. That's connected to the analog inputs of the PCM-F1. I've then connected the video output from the PCM-F1 into the SCART input of this video recorder over here, this little Samsung. That's to make the initial recording. Now, in order to be able to see what's going on the TV screen, because this machine only has one output, and I need that to feed back into the PCM-F1, so I can set the levels properly and so forth, I've had to use an RF cable from this video recorder into the TV. So if you see any instability in this picture, that's probably because I'm using an RF link to the TV. I've also connected up the audio outputs from the PCM-F1 into the audio inputs on the SCART of the Samsung video recorder. That's just so I can hear what's going on really through the TV speakers. I'm going to use the exact same equipment that I used before, so I'm using the same DVD player as the audio source, I'm using the same Samsung video recorder to make the initial recording, and when I get to it, this sharp will be used as the second video recorder to make the copies. I'm even actually using the same tapes, so this one will be the original recording, and this one, it is the same tape, but I've been using it to test other machines in the meantime, so unfortunately I've managed to damage a bit of the tape at the beginning of this, so all I've done is spooled it forward a little bit, just so it's away from that damaged tape, but it is the same tape, it's just a little bit further on. I'm even going to use the same audio track, so as far as possible everything is exactly the same, except the PCM-F1 is now in 14-bit mode instead of 16-bit mode. So without further ado, let's make the initial recording. So the disc I've got in here, track 1 is a 1 kHz sine wave at 0 dB FS, and track 2 is the same production music track that I used in the last video. So if I start the CD playing, we should now be getting the 1 kHz sine wave into the PCM-F1, so I can set the level on here. There we go, that's set. So now I will start recording on the first tape here. Now that tape's right at the very beginning, so I'll just let that run on the sine wave for about a minute, just so it's not right at the very beginning of the tape, and then I'll skip forward the track on the DVD player to start playing the tune. Right, so we're about a minute in now, so I shall start the music track. Okay, that's the recording made, so I shall stop that video recorder. Rewind that tape, of course. Now I need to rejig the connections, so I'm going to connect that video recorder directly to that video recorder using a SCART cable. Get rid of the DVD player, because I don't need that anymore, because I've now made the initial recording. I then need the output from this second video recorder, the little sharp, going into the input of the PCM-F1. And I will take the audio output from the PCM-F1 then into my PCM audio recorder, so you get a direct feed on the audio of the YouTube video. So without further ado, let's crack on with rejigging the connections. So apologies, it's a bit dark around here, but we want to take the output from that video recorder there into one of the inputs. Oh, it would be the other way up, wouldn't it, on this video recorder. There. So that's the copy link. Now I need the SCART cable which goes to the PCM-F1 into the other SCART connector on this video recorder. And I cannot see what I'm doing, so I need to get a torch. There we are. What I'll do is I'll overlay a direct feed from the videotape. So without further ado, let's make a start on the first copy. there you go. Make of that what you will. Thank you very much for watching.